A little minute, and I haven't went live as much as I wanted to, but I was doing my series on self-love and self-care, like true self-love, self-care, and what that looks like in your day-to-day life, on the job, relationships, platonic ships, family ships, or whatever you want to call it. But I feel as if the dilemma with people when you start, let's talk about relationships. First, the one that you have with yourself, how you treat yourself, what you like, dislike, what your routine is, what makes you whole. How do you care for yourself? How do you make yourself the number one important thing in your life? Because if you love yourself, you won't do certain things that are to your detriment, right? You know how to entertain yourself. There's a certain level of wholeness that you have by yourself. And that really does translate through other relationships, because when you look at, say, romantic relationships, which, I mean, I'm only human. Life has a way of showing up. You know, some people find their person and they stay with them for a lifetime. And then others have a hard time. And then some people never find quote unquote love or what they think they're searching for. But first of all, you need to know what you want in yourself and what you're capable of giving yourself. So if you don't establish that first, then there is no way that you can know what you want others to give you, or what you want them to be for you, or what role you want them to play in your life. Basically, teaching people how to treat you, right? If you don't even know what your own desires are, or how to keep yourself company in a loving way, and I'm not saying like it's more than just dressing up. It's more than just long walks, but it's how you talk to yourself. You know, of course, putting things into your body that help you to have longevity, but it's the grace that you give yourself. How do you speak to yourself? Because we all have an inner voice, right? That's the start of it. That inner voice literally dictates how your worldview, how you respond to yourself, how others respond to you, and how they will treat you. Because everything that you see is like a macro, like the micro world. That's your inner world. You have the outer world that really affirms whatever you feel about yourself on the inside up here. So if you don't give yourself grace, you're really hard on yourself. Living in reality doesn't mean you're being hard on yourself. Like, if you understand certain truths about yourself as far as character development, let those be observations and then take action. But whether you take action or not, you shouldn't beat yourself up. So, like, okay, boom. People have thoughts. So, a thought is just, it comes and it goes, right? It's like the wind. But our feelings give these thoughts meaning, it gives these thoughts a job, and then they begin to take on a life of their own. They begin to grow. You nurse them a lot like a baby. It's kind of like a garden, like they're little seeds. Hi, there's little seeds that are planted. Thoughts are seeds. Seeds lie dormant. You don't have to um, make a seed into a plant if you don't want to. You know what? If you don't water a seed or give it the conditions to grow and thrive, it will not. But sometimes weeds are unwanted. You don't do anything to cause weeds. Weeds are those thoughts. Hi. Weeds are those thoughts that come out and just grab you. Like, you don't know where they come from. Because sometimes the way that we feel about ourselves are these random crazy thoughts and it doesn't have to be too crazy. It could just be thoughts that don't affirm you in a meaningful way, that don't lift you up, that don't help you see yourself in a positive way. So it could come from childhood. A lot of it does, how you were raised, nature versus nurture. Who nurtured you? What is your worldview? What did people tell you about yourself as you were coming up? Did you learn from other people? Social media is one of those things where it's so many different mindsets that come with social media, because For one, it's not real. Some of it is, but a lot of it is just projections and people showing their life or showing how they feel life should go or how people should be a certain way, how you should think, act, and talk. But that's not reality. We have to real self love is really figuring out who you are outside of the world. Because what happens is who we are today, we're like Frankenstein. You know how Frankenstein was created? A piece here, a piece there. We're like a quilt. People patch little squares. They build a certain foundation for us until we get become adults and we have this mindset of people's dreams, visions, and thoughts for our life. And that's not reality. You have to ultimately figure out who you are, what you truly like, the clothes that you wear, the decisions that you make, the money that you spend, the people that you entertain. Do you like these people or do you make these decisions because these are true wants and desires of yours? Or are you motivated by some external force, whether it was someone from childhood that make you feel a certain way, make you think you have to think a certain way, act a certain way, dress a certain way, buy certain things? So you have to truly question your motives and do a self analysis. That's introspection, where you look at the whole of you and you observe who you truly are without judgment. That's the key. That is the key to self love. It is understanding who you truly are. So then when you have other relationships, whether it be platonic friendships or, romantic, you can tell people this is the best way to love me. This is what I'm looking for. And this is what I desire. Because relationships are all about give and take. Nature is all about balance. If you really look at nature, there's a system like the water cycle. It's a rhythm. You can't just take and take and take and never give, and vice versa. Some of you are dealing with codependent relationships, whether you're codependent with someone else or some people are narcissists. Some people may watch it, may be the narcissist, or you may be a victim of one, but in reality, there's no true victimhood. When you understand yourself in your life, there are no accidents. Some stuff we may not understand, but when you look at patterns, we're not talking about tragedies and things like that, but when you look at patterns of how you respond to certain people, the moves that you make in life, the relationships that you have, you should notice a pattern. And that's a reflection of how you see yourself in your worldview. And if you still need to do some work to teach people how to treat you, to know how you should treat yourself, we all change every day. The person who you were I feel like people change in significant ways in 5 year increments. 5 year increments, it's really a lot that can change. You 5 years ago, it's probably a lot different than you now. In 5 years from now, you'll be a lot different. So you could change on a dime. And so it's okay to change your mind. You have to do what's comfortable for you. You have to, hi, Natalie, you have to give yourself grace. So we may want people to love us a certain way. Now, if you know what you desire, and if you know what you want, knowing what you want comes from spending time with yourself, actually loving yourself. Because think about a parent. Most parents do what's in the best interest for the child. That's true unconditional love. Most parents. So we're going to use it in that sense. So you have to apply that to yourself. You are the parent of you. You are in charge of you, right? So if you love yourself, you wouldn't do things to bring you harm. You wouldn't make decisions that go against your beliefs. You have to learn how to live in reality, right? Because some people, they call it cognitive dissonance. You may be doing a certain behavior that you know that you're not really, we're not even going to say supposed to be doing, because it gives very much, it's very religious. We're going to say not serving you well. Do you continue on with that? Do you have discipline? Do you know what makes you tick? Do you know your patterns? Do you know that um, you tend to take certain jobs that are not the best for you? Or you fall in love with people who may not love you back, or you fall in love with a certain type of person, or you have certain type of habits, that you can't just get over. You have to really, really become one with yourself and live in reality. It's an observation, but don't beat up on yourself. Observe it and take active steps. That is what you need to do. Think of it like constructive criticism. Judgment is literally giving advice, sometimes unsolicited advice, without action. That's just judgment. But when you get constructive criticism, thank you. It makes you better. Constructive criticism builds you up. It gives you the steps. It's like a staircase. It builds you up block by block. But when people pass judgment, first of all, we pass judgment against ourselves every day. We start having these thoughts about, I'm gotten fat, I'm too skinny, or I'm not where I need to be in life. Okay, you may feel that way, whether it's true or not true. And reality is not really fixed. It's kind of perception. Reality is not even real. It's what we say. Because at what age are you supposed to be? People spend a lifetime getting to know themselves, and you so decorative. Thank you. You just have to learn how to go with the flow. I think it's easier when you live in society that gives you time for yourself to be mindful. We're always in these rigid routines. It's just like constantly go, go, go. But sometimes you have to pull the strings in your own life. You have to take charge. Other people won't do it for you. If you want something strongly enough, even if you don't see the open doorway to walk through that door to make it happen. Like, so some people may have a job. The job is really taking up a lot of their life. It may not serve them. They may not like the work, but they say, hey, I got to pay the bills or whatever. Well, you may not be able to see how you can get out of that job, or at least get wiggle room, not just to start your own venture, but to have time for yourself, or to live a life that puts you first. All you need is a desire. And it's not about the law of attraction, it's a real thing, but you have to create a vision for it. You have to see yourself in certain situations, because the world around us brings us the tools that we need. How many times have you needed something and it just kind of came to you? It could have been an idea, or it could have been a person that provided that need, or it was just something you were thinking about. Like, I'm like, I really need this. It's help, some type of help that you needed, or some type of door that you need to be open. That's not coincidental, because we do shape our world and our reality. So if you're not getting what you want to get, and again, it's not about getting or getting to a certain destination. It's about the becoming. Becoming is a lifetime journey. It's not hyper fixating on an end result. It is literally the everyday steps of that what makes it important, like how you get there. So you got to know who you are, you know, and you will get what you're supposed to get. You can only get what you're supposed to get, because even if you get a relationship, whether it be a friendship or a romantic relationship, that you're like, I really don't like this person, I feel like it's not compatible, they won't stay, because they're not going to mesh well with whatever you're bringing to the table, because it's like oil and water, it won't mix. Say if you're the person, like, you're balanced, you're level-headed, nobody is without flaw. You still have flaws, I do too, but I'm saying that nothing that does not resonate with you, it is not on your frequency. It's like magnets. The wrong magnets, they repel each other. So you have to kind of look at it like that, right? That's all we have for today. Give yourself grace, when it comes to building a relationship with yourself. Do the inner work. That will make your other relationships so much better. And when you finally get the right relationship, because it comes when you need it to and when you're ready, and 9 times out of 10 when you're not thinking about it, right? So, as always, be happy, be whole, from nature with love. It's Anja.